Hi, good morning. So today we are here to just continue our session from where we stopped last week. Hope you all are safe everywhere and everything is okay with you all guys. And definitely we are making it more productive like anything in this time. So hope you all remember what all things we have discussed last classes about architectural ideas and architectural BIM concepts and everything. And today I am just taking you to little more detailing of those sessions and how to go into the detail part of architectural BIM modeling. Okay, so thank you again for joining with us. And again I am just reminding you, if you have any questions or any queries, you can directly let me know if you have any questions or something. So we will be coming back with with the answers for that. And definitely this can be made as a good interactive session as well. I hope you all to be with us throughout. And I hope you all are watching our last week sessions, like last week videos and everything. Hope it is more informative for you all, and definitely for those who are trying to enter into the industry, we are hoping these live sessions will become a great help for them. And also from our side, CAD International, we are supporting all the people around the world in however methods we can do. So we will make it like that way. So that's what. So definitely we will be moving on to our sessions, and if you have any queries, directly please come again with your queries, with your doubts in the live chat, in the chat box. Okay, so we'll come back. Hope you remember last time we were discussing about how to develop an architecture model using BIM concepts, and again we have discussed that BIM was just a great concept, and in that area we are developing architectural part separately, MEP part separately and everything, and then we started architectural modeling last time. And today what is our main aim is to understand how to develop a typical architectural wall. Okay, typical architectural wall in the sense, say for example, last time you remember we have been discussing about the project base points and mini survey points and datum elements, grid and everything. So today we will be just making on to that same model or same file, same concept, and then we will develop the typical wall details and everything into that model. Okay, so that is what we have been looking forward. And now to the Revit screen. If you can see the Revit screen now, and see, this is the Revit interface, what you can see. Hope all of you can see it, right? Okay, so from this situation what we need to understand is we will be modeling, or we will be creating a typical Revit data or Revit structure as per our old system. Old system means previous, as per the topics what we have discussed about the previous time. And here simply what I'm going to do, I'm just drawing a simple grid like this. Hope you remember what is the purpose of grid. Last time we have already discussed about that. And again I'm just making some grids like this, both horizontally and vertically, and just making a rename there. What is the purpose? What was the purpose of grid? It was actually just a datum element to place our building element. That's it. Okay, especially the walls or something. Okay, but here what I want you to discuss, or what I want to discuss is that apart from creating a simple 3D model, we need to create a model which is approximately, or which should match our site requirements. Okay, see, if you can see here, this is a typical 3D section of a building. Okay, it's a simple villa model, what you can see there. And from this one what I can understand is, here almost each and every part of that wall is detailed there. Okay, if you go into detail, say for example what kind of plaster. See, this green color represents the plaster, and this red color represents the brick, and this thing, this ivory or whatever that color represents the plaster that are placed onto the wall. Okay, so this is what we are expecting. And also apart from this one, the same structure, if you are looking from this one, see, this is a typical villa model, just a random element or a simple model for your understanding. And if you are cutting that building along its height or something, you can see the detail of that project or that building more clearly, like this way. So this is what I was telling last time, because if you are preparing a Revit model or BIM model, we need to create, or we need to make maximum detailing. Okay, we need to prepare maximum detailing for your project. Okay, so that is what we need to understand from this site. Okay, so what I wanted to do is that, see, if I am coming to the typical base structure what I created just now with typical grids and everything, what I want to do is, if I am going to take a wall, see, from the architecture tab you can find the wall there. Okay, so once you are entered into the wall, what you should do is you should create a copy of the wall, which is very important in Revit, to create corresponding duplications. Whatever tool you are using in Revit, it should be duplicated and given a separate name for your purpose. Okay, so that is what I'm going to do here. What is that? I gone to architecture, I took the wall option, and then from here you can see type properties. See, if you see that edit type is there, if I'm going to the type properties, you can find an option to duplicate. So what I'm going to do, I'm duplicating and just naming that as ext wall. Just give a name for that wall. And here the most interesting thing is, if you go to the structure edit of the wall, you can see a preview, and you can see the section preview of your wall. And from this preview you can see what are the major configuration or major contents of the building. Okay, so what you should do is, say for example, if I want to do, or if I want to give a clarity of something, say for example, if you go to this structure, see, hope you can see this, right? See, this is how that wall structure or wall item will come like. Okay, so here if you see the preview, if you can see the preview, the details are there, structure edit, how the layers of walls are placed in it, everything is shown in detail. See, if you go to the detailed preview, what you can see, how many layers are there, and what are the layers involved in which material is used, what is the thickness of the material used there, everything we can make it. Okay, so now what is our intention is, we need to prepare your wall, or you are going to build your wall properly. So typically if you are constructing, or if you imagine how your wall will be, say for example, at the center of the wall you can have typical brick. Okay, and on either side, like interior and exterior side, you will have the plaster. Okay, and outside of the plaster, towards the exterior side and towards interior side, you will have the paint finish. Okay, if you have some kind of claddings, that can also be placed at that particular area. So this is what we need to prepare in Revit. Okay, because if you are shifting from AutoCAD to Revit, this will be one of the major difference, because in Revit you are going to create each and every part of the wall. In AutoCAD, what was the situation? You will have to prepare different lines, or you have to draw the line separately, and you have to mention that area as separate. Okay, here what I'm going to do is, I'm just inserting one layer. Okay, so if I click on this insert, what you can see here, you can specify what is the main function of that item. Say for example, now it is finish 1, I made it finish 1. Okay, and you can give thickness. Say for example, that finish 1 should have a thickness of 20, and again this layer is towards the exterior side. You can see that, right? This layer is towards the exterior side. So what I am going to do is, I am just making it outside the core boundary. Can you see a core boundary there? So what do you mean by a core boundary? Core boundary is a layer which represents the end of your core material in the wall. End of your core material. Core material means it is the typical brick or something. It can be block work, brick, laterite, whatever it may be. Whatever is the main core material of that wall, that is what displayed there in the within the core boundary, and I have added a layer outside the core boundary towards exterior side, and the same way I am going to add one more thing towards the interior side, and again I am giving the same functionality for that layer. Okay, so I given function as finish 1 with a thickness of 20 mm. So 20 mm is the thickness of that layer, and this is finish 1. So your plastering is ready. You prepared your brick with 200 mm thick, and on either sides you place the plasters, and also say for example if you want to apply a paint finish towards the exterior side, what is the situation? You can insert one more layer. If I am clicking on inserting, you can make it as finish 2 with a layer value as 2 or 3 or whatever value you want, you can give. The same way I am going to insert one more thing and make it down. Okay, make it down towards the interior side and make it as finish 2 and give the thickness as 3. So what is the situation? You prepared your wall completely. Am I correct? Okay, hope you can understand the concept, right? So what we did is I prepared the wall layers properly with the thickness but not material. Okay, so what I am going to do now is I am going to add a material here. Okay, so first of all let us add the center or the core element or core components material as brick. So whatever layers are there inside the core boundary you should give. See, this is what the core material. Okay, once you select the layer here in the type property, you can see it will be highlighted there. Okay, and what you should do is if you go to the type property, you can see in the material a small box is available there. If you are clicking on that, it will directly take you to another window. Say for example, if I am clicking over there, what is the thing you can see? You can see a material browser like this way. Can you see this? So this is the material browser window, which they will ask us to specify what kind of material you are going to place. Okay, place for each layer, that is what their question is. Okay, so here you can see there are a different list of materials are already available there, and with respect to that list you can also choose whatever materials are available within the Revit library. Say for example I need brick. Okay, so let me search for brick, whether if brick is there or not. So what you can see the brick material is available there. Okay, so what you can do is you can directly click on this material, and in the material list, or if you select this material at the right side, you can see the complete information about the material. Okay, this is very important. Okay, because whenever you are preparing a BIM model, as we mentioned in the beginning classes or beginning sessions, each and every detail should be documentable. Say for example, if I am preparing a brick, I should be able to get the quantity of brick properly, cost for the brick properly, details means which grade it is being manufactured and who is the manufacturer, who is the supplier, related some queries you have to understand from this material. So what you have to do now is, before applying a material to the wall, you can find an identity area over here, and from this identity list what you can do is you can give the manufacturer detail, the model detail, cost. Okay, just I need to add one point. If you are going to add the cost for this material, here is you should add the cost for the brick material per 1 meter cube. Okay, you should apply the cost per unit volume. This is mandatory. It is not mentioned anywhere. You will be specifying, I am going to give the value. Say for example, I am giving 150. So 150 can be of any currency that you can mention at the time of taking the quantities. And once you mention this 150, what you should get is you should give the rate per unit volume. Okay, and then later the model numbers, manufacturer, whatever comments you want you can give. Just press OK. And one more thing, there is an option called keynotes. Okay, if you are clicking on this keynote functions, what they will give us a data sheet. Okay, data sheet or specifications you can say. This is based upon the standards which you are involved with. Okay, say for example, if I am expanding the masonry, so all the masonry items are categorized under one section. See, so here you can see stone. So whatever you want, you can give the typical concrete or typical the brick can be categorized under masonry or whichever category as per the BIM specification. So this is what keynote means. So this keynotes, now we got the keynote for the materials. Okay, there are keynotes available for different elements also. So what do you mean by keynotes? Keynote is just a representation or just an idea or just a code value or key value which explains the standard of elements that are involved in the project. Okay, so that is what you will be doing here. So you should specify whatever keynote or whichever category you are working with, and there are certain other specifications. Okay, you cannot blindly go and take it, because there are certain standards you have to follow before assigning some kind of keynote value for a particular item. Okay, so this is what you are entering here with the identity, and next comes graphics. So in the graphics, what you have to understand is, if you see this, you can find only three areas are there. Okay, first one is shading, second one is surface pattern, and the third one is cut pattern. Okay, if I am expanding the shading value, you can assign the color for making color that should be visible at the time of shaded mode in your Revit file. Okay, so it is just only a color mode, it is not available in your realistic mode. Okay, because in realistic, if you are going to appearance, you can see this is the realistic effect what you are giving there. Okay, graphics is just a representation for making it in the shaded mode, or it is just a colored view what you will get. That is what available with the shaded. And one more thing, if you want to get the color of the shaded layer or shaded image as the color, you can just use this option. So if you are ticking it, what you will get? You will get the color of that material as the shaded layer. Okay, as the shaded color, you will get that color which you have mentioned in the realistic mode. See, now they will match this brick image color and then apply it over here. So this is what available with the shaded mode. And then comes surface pattern. So surface pattern, this is very important. Okay, because as I mentioned in the beginning stages, Revit is not a 3D modeling software. Okay, whatever you are modeling should be documented and should be presented in a detailed way for executing the project properly. Okay, so that is why what we need to do is we need to understand how everything are managed. Okay, so if you go to the surface pattern, it is simply the pattern which you are applying on a surface, or how you want to find the material, or how you want to display this brick material if you are viewing its surface. That is what it matters. Okay, so if I am expanding this foreground, you can see this is the pattern that they have applied in that material. Okay, so whenever in any of the elevation view or a view where this material is shown on a surface, then this pattern will come there. And again, you can assign some color for that pattern. Say for example, if I am assigning that color, this color will be given there. And again, if you go to the background means what? Typically you can apply two patterns for one material. Okay, so if I place this brick here, you can even give a pattern, and that pattern is considered as a solid fill. Say for example, let me make it a solid fill. So what happened? The background will be full black, and on that black layer you will have this pattern applied. So this is the foreground pattern and this is the background pattern. Typically from the name itself you can understand these two things are placed on two layers with each other. Did you understand the point? So basically the concept is very simple. Two patterns you are applying onto the material. Okay, and again, if you want to change the color of that solid fill, what you can do, you can directly go here and then say for example, I need some color related to this green or something. Say for example, you can make it something like this. This is in the surface pattern. Okay, surface means if you see that material in any of the elevated surface, or generally it will be visible in elevations. If you are talking about the 3D view, in the surfaces will be displayed like this. So that is with the surface pattern. And then comes cut pattern. What do you mean by cut pattern? If you are entering into the cut pattern area, see for example, the concept is very simple. How you want to display this material when you are cutting an element and then looking that area. Okay, what you can see is how you cut the building or cut the element, and how the material there should be visible in that cut view is what you can see in the cut pattern. Okay, so what you should do, again there you have two patterns. One pattern is this and the other pattern is there, and also you can give the solid fill there. Just give some color, say for example yellow color, so yellow and black. So this combination will be applied there. So this is what happens with the pattern in the graphics mode. And again, if you go to the appearance part, appearance is very interesting. Say for example, if you want to make it a realistic effect, or if you want to see it in the more like reality or rendered level, this image will be displayed in the realistic mode. So that is what you have to mention in the appearance mode. Say for example, if I am clicking on this value, see by default by default in Revit they have already given us a material there. So what you can do is you can just click on this value, this name, and then you will be directed to the material browser properly. Okay, so from this list of materials, or this is just an image, okay, .jpg images are shown here. So what does it mean is you can download good images and you can present your material in that way. Say for example, if you can directly take the take your Google Chrome and then download some kind of HD images, and you can use it here, so that will be displayed over the material. Okay, so that is what with the appearance part. Okay, so appearance is typically with the realistic effect, and again there are certain sub options for the tint, like for the same material, like tint. If you are adding a tint, what may happen, you can apply some another color. Say for example, if I am giving yellow color, what will happen, see your wall will have a yellow tint with the same image. Okay, say for example, if you want to make it as green, see what will happen, your wall will be changed to that green. This image is being tinted with that color. So that is the logic. Okay, so if you don't want that, you can just uncheck that. Okay, just uncheck that, so you will get the original one. Once it is okay, you can proceed. So we discussed about identity, graphics and appearance, and then comes very important thing called physical properties. So physical properties means what? Physical properties means what you should do is, if you go to the purpose, or if you are entering into an area where you need to understand or you need to find out the energy analysis or related areas. Say for example, you heard about energy analysis, right? Energy analysis means after creating your building, you should make it more sustainable. Okay, especially it is dealing with the LEED certifications and everything. Okay, so the thing which we discussed in the first session. Okay, so for a material which you are using in the project, you can specify the mechanical parameters. Like here it is only density related details in the physical data, and if you go to the thermal parameters, here you can get you can give the thermal related parameters. Thermal conductivity, specific heat. Hope you all can see my screen properly, right? Okay, so what you can do, you can just understand what are the major thermal conductivity, specific heat, density, emissivity related properties are available there. Okay, so you should give it properly and then maintain it, because all the value which we give during the material is more important at the time of finding out the energy model or preparing the energy model. Okay, we will have a discussion on energy model at the in the coming stages. Okay, so this is what we have to understand with the material. So before applying a material in Revit, you have to maintain all these parameters, or you have to give all these parameters. Only then it will become a BIM model. Okay, this is what I need to convey with you, because normally I heard from many people that it is just you can do like this and like this in modeling. Okay, so it is not like that. If you are going into more deeper or more professional way, if you want to prepare your model, it is not just what you call an outline or outline structure. It is not a dummy model. You are directly giving the life for this structure. So this is where the technical aspects are involved in the modeling. Okay, so this is one of the major difference between what we model in other software. Say if there are some certain software for doing modeling only. So here you are not doing modeling only. You are just going to give the detailed information about the material, including the physical and thermal properties and hatch patterns and everything. And one more thing I need to add is, in the patterns, if you double click on the pattern, you can give new patterns. Okay, and also again, if you are double clicking here, you can also insert the scale for your hatches. Sometimes the hatches what you are entering into the model will not be sufficient for getting the printouts properly, because the scale of the hatch may be different. So you can come here and you can change the hatches here and then you can fix it. Okay, so I made it okay. So what happened now? See, if you see in the layer, they have placed that material. Okay, and again next one, plaster, right? So let us click over there and just search for plaster. By default one layer is there. Again, if you can select, okay, somewhat details are there. Let me make it okay. So plastering is added there. The same way you can go here and then add the plaster there. Okay, that is also done. But what about that layer? Say for example, I need to add some kind of material there. Okay, I need to add what kind of paint is used there. It is not just a material what we did last time, because see for example, if I am clicking over this box, okay, hope you can see that properly, right? Okay, okay, fine. Material in this one, if you go to this one, I think I'll just make it here. Okay, if I click on the material over there, what you can see, I think you're not seeing that, right? Okay, okay, say for example, if you look at here, and from this one, if I want to give a paint, say for example, let me search for a paint. Different types of items came, but I am not finding anything which is required for my purpose. So what I will do, I'll just go to create. Here you can find a create material option. I'll just click on the new. You can give a new name, say for example ext paint. Towards the exterior side I need to use this paint. Okay, so just click over there and directly you can have an option called asset browser. Okay, so you can directly go to the asset browser, and from this one you can choose the paint option. See, different types of paints are available in Revit. See, glossy, metallic flake or powder coated, which means as per the, say for example, I'll add that screen with you. Okay, see, now can you see the asset browser there? If I click on that asset browser, what you can see all these materials properly. Okay, so if you can see there, a category called paint is there, and inside the paint these many subcategories are available. Okay, so from there you can choose, say for example I need a blue colored paint there, so just add it over there. Okay, so once you add it there, what you will get, see, that paint is added to this material browser or material slot. See, it is being updating now. See, this is the effect what you will get, and slowly the preview will be shown like this way. Okay, so what happened, you have created a new material. Okay, new material, and correspondingly you should just check what are the patterns. Say for example, if there is no pattern available there, you can click over there and then give some kind of plastering over there. Say for example sand dents, I made it over there. So the pattern is what I defined there, And again, if you double click over there, say for example I'm changing the value to 0.25, which means I'm just reduce the scale, apply. So if you zoom in there, you can find that layer, or that layer with hatch patterns and everything there, okay, with exterior paint. Okay, just let us make it okay. So what will happen if you are giving okay? What will happen is it is applied over there, which means it is applied to the wall. Okay, now what you should do, say for example, hope you can see the exterior property, right? In the right side, in the type selector, we will call this area as type selector, and from this type selector what you can see, it is basic wall written there. So what I am going to do is just specify a height for my wall as till level 2, and then let me click over here and there like this way. Okay, that's very simple. I made it like that, but the problem is, now are you able to see the detail? Because we added different layers and we added many paint and everything, but now from this view you are not able to see the details. So what you should do, in the view control bar, we will call that area as view control bar. So from this view control bar you can see an option called detail level, which means to what extent you should specify or you should display the detail is what written there. Okay, so if I am clicking over there, you can make it fine. So what will happen, if you are making it fine, you can see the detailing there. Okay, and again the next one comes visual style. If you make it shaded, you can see the shaded mode, whichever color we applied there in the material as shaded color, it will be appeared there. And also if you go with the realistic, you can see the realistic effect there. Okay, so what you can do, once you made it shaded or wireframe or whatever area, you can get your material like this way. And again, if you go to the 3D model, what you will get, you can get your effect like this way. Say for example, I am selecting the wall properly and then just making it something, say for example, let me make it like this, let me show it like this. So what you can see, you can see the wall details properly. Okay, and very important thing what we need to understand is, after placing this wall, see if you are placing a door here, let me do one thing, let me choose okay, this door is enough, I don't know what will happen. Okay, I just placed a door here. So what will happen actually, door is placed the same way, window, say for example, let us take this window. Okay, window is placed over there, and again one wall I am just making till here, same wall I placed it till here. Okay, so if you are looking at the end of the wall, you can see there is some incomplete effect there, right? If you go to the 3D view also, if you look at this one here, there is some kind of incompletion. So what you should do is, if you select the wall or if you go to the type property of the wall, there is an option. Okay, you can see the type property now. Okay, see, if you are looking to the type properties of that wall, you can see an option called wrapping at inserts. Okay, there is a concept of wrapping. So this wrapping means what, which layer you need to wrap at with the wall. Okay, so I am going to wrap at the end of the wall should be wrapped. That is what wrapping at end means. So what I'll do, I'll just make it, I need to wrap it with the exterior side. Okay,